By the way, I wanted to start this live stream off by thanking the Nintendo podcast system who just subscribed to us about 43 minutes ago. So thank you for that.
Nice.
We are live on Twitch and YouTube at this point. We are ready to rock and roll because everybody was here like freaking hours beforehand. So like
it's almost like we take this thing seriously.
Yeah, let's freaking go, right? We've already leveled the audio, I think. So all your Poppy Eugene needs to do is put a note. And let's wait, no, I have to hit record here. Okay, and let's get started. Show start. Here we go.
You can't buy much for $1 a month, but you can buy a shout out on Infendo Radio. Head on over to patreon.com/Infendo Radio, and for $1 a month, we'll read your name out loud.
If you like cartoony Italian plumbers, you're in the right place.
Ay, patutusan naman tato. O, paras ka ng parang ko naman ng teatro naman. Toro naman tayo na patapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatapatap
That's the manner in which we roll. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infendo Radio. Thank you for joining us this week. We've got a great show for y'all. We will be thanking our patrons later on, but before we do that, let's get, thanking our actual hosts, because I love them so much. I'm going to thank them right here now. Lucas, how are you doing tonight? Thank you for being here. Where can the people find you?
Well, first, I'm doing fantastic. Moments before we went live, I got my shiny Pokemon I've been chaining for like a month, so that feels so good. It's like pulling the splinter. You can find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/LucasPeace, all one word. And I have a Twitter that is @ChromatiCue. Where I posted today a video of me encountering like 40 Lakitu all at once in Mario 35. So if you want to see how crazy that game can get, I've never seen anything like that, go to my Twitter and go check that out. @ChromatiCue, all one word. Good luck spelling it, because I'm not going to do it.
Fair enough. Someone who also doesn't like spelling or math, if you'll remember, Infendo lore. Steve, how are you doing this evening? And tell the people where they can find you.
I don't math, IIT. Okay? Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I'm good. I am fantastic. I have no intro other than that, so thank you for that. You can find me at the one and only plug I have now, and that is my Linktree account. So linktr.ee/Gentas, Gentas. Find me there. There's a link to my Discord. You can find out about the other podcast I'm on, yada yada, so on and so forth. Yep. Okay. That's it. I'm done.
Excellent. All right. Well, finally, last but not least, Justin, how are you doing tonight? Thank you for being here. And where can the people find you?
I am doing okay, as long as I can keep from having a coughing fit from this cold that won't go away. Don't worry.
Coughing.
It's
Wheezing!
Please don't make me start laughing. That's what started the last coughing fit.
However, you got tested this week and you don't have the bad one, so we're happy.
Yes. In case nobody heard that, I'm COVID negative, so no worries there. But I have this nasty cold that won't go away, and I had something else, so I wanted to say. Oh yes, I want to pimp my website, thedisneyparkbench.com. I posted a new blog last week, so go check that out. I'm working on one of my guides that I've been promoting on the site for a while, so that should be up by the end of the year. And stay tuned for a podcast if I can ever get my co-host to coordinate her schedule with mine.
Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun scheduling co-hosts for
Especially when
there's only a pair of you.
And yeah, well, when there's only a pair of you and both of you have children.
Oh, the joys of getting old. Well, if you want to find me, just go to Infendo.com. Y'all know what to do. Discords, the Patreons. I actually just went to Infendo.com today and realized that I still need to fix the link to our Discord. I'm sorry about that. You can still get there from some of the places, but one of them's broken. Sorry. But yeah, just go there, do all the things. Steve, I know we have some people to thank here this month, so why don't I toss it over to you?
Yeah. So as always, we like to begin every show by thanking the most important people in our lives that are not our significant others.
The ones that give us money.
Exactly. Over at patreon.com/Infendo Radio. And they are Slacker Monkey and Minus64, our producers, and our executive producers, DJ and the Briansaurus. So thank you all for continuing to support this wonderful endeavor, which we do on a weekly basis.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Oh,
Okay, so we are going to take our first break. We will be right back on the other side with a different type of change to the system. Ooh, we'll be right back.
we never left, and you can't prove we did.
Totally not. Totally. All right, let's go find some more people talking that aren't me. So I guess we will start with Steven. And let me level this out first. How does this sound with Steve?
Are you a member of our Discord yet?
Music's
You
too
should be,
loud.
because that's where
Steve,
you
I think,
ask
is
your
just
questions
right.
for the question block segment now.
Okay.
Get there through
Steve is
Infendo.com.
always just right.
Good answer, Steve. Good
Steve has
answer.
that
So.
third cup of porridge energy, that's for sure.
One more time then.
Are you a member of our Discord yet? You
We're
should be,
good.
because that's where you ask your questions for the question.
All right, well then let me put a note that we back. All right, let's do it.
Are you a member of our Discord yet? You should be, because that's where you ask your questions for the question block segment now. Get there through Infendo.com.
Oh ho 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 ho! We're back. It's time for the question, or not the question block. It's time for the.
That's been our show.
Hi.
It's time for change the system. Here we are. We're really gonna change it up this week. Lucas is actually gonna drive this discussion that we're gonna have. So Lucas,
Off
why
a
don't you take it away?
cliff.
Yeah, so if you're anything like me, you spend a lot of your free time mindlessly scrolling through all the news articles that pop up on your Google feed. And if you're anything like me, the algorithm knows that you're interested in video games and Nintendo stuff. So you get a lot of annoying news on stuff that you probably wouldn't care about otherwise. And one of the things that I've been getting a ton of articles on for the last almost month at this point is the controversy with Super Smash Bros. Melee. If you can believe it, people are up in arms about Melee again, guys. So I thought today maybe we could discuss this, and I'll explain what's going down for those of you uninitiated, and then I'll
Thank
be in
you.
the same awful place that we
Yeah,
are.
I've heard Melee going through the trending, but I didn't know why. So
Yeah,
please
so-
enlighten us.
So the reason why is because Nintendo has been bringing down the old ban hammer on a lot of Smash tournaments. One in particular, I did not record the name of the particular tournament, but it happened very recently. It's tournaments where the game is being modded with a mod called Slippy, which basically just makes the game, as I understand it, more competitive. I don't want to put in the wrong information. I don't know if it necessarily makes the game run faster or whatnot, but it's meant to give the game kind of more of a competitive vibe, right? Because the people that play Melee, that still play Melee, you're either playing it for the nostalgia and you're like alone in your room at 3 a.m., or you're playing it at a tournament and you're playing it because it's supposedly the most competitive fighting game Nintendo has ever made, right? But that hasn't stopped the modders from trying to make it more competitive, which, more power to them. However, Nintendo obviously has a problem with this because they pulled the plug on the tournament. Now, the Splatoon North American Open lost its coverage. And while they're saying that it was due to a technical hiccup, there are rumors flying around that it has... Eugene just gave me the name of that tournament, the Big House Online tournament. Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate that. Yeah, now they're saying that the Splatoon North American coverage was dropped as a kind of retribution act on Nintendo's part for how outraged the fans are. There's hashtag Save Melee going around online and stuff. So everybody's up in arms about this thing, right? But,
ARMS is involved in this too?
Yeah, it will be soon enough.
Right.
So I get a lot of news articles, right? So I get a lot of different opinion pieces about, is what Nintendo's doing right or is what Nintendo's doing wrong. Turns out that apparently the only tournaments, and feel free, if somebody out there who's listening to this has information I don't, let us know, because we want to be as informed as possible. But as I understand it, they've only really been banning the tournaments where they're either using the modded game and also making money on it. So they don't really have a problem with you running a free tournament and using modded software, or running a paid tournament and profiting off of it and using their official software. That weird legal line that they're drawing is in running a modded version of their old game and then profiting off of that in a tournament setting. I'm kind of two minds. Like, the first part is like, come on, who cares if they're, using a modded version of Melee? But also, like, you guys are profiting off of this, so I get Nintendo's want to like step in and interject. It's what they do, They're the giant multimedia behemoth that they are. It's their whole thing. I don't have the outrage over this that I think a lot of people do. And as I was thinking about this, and as I was kind of planning out this conversation with you guys in my head, I was thinking, in the last couple of years since I've really kind of been on this show, I think I've kind of earned the reputation of being able to think critically about this stuff, right? Like, I am not a Nintendo apologist. Like, I'm the guy who has bravely stood up month after year and complained about Breath of the Wild.
I was going to say, no, you.
And Paper Mario and
Monster
Animal
Hunter.
Crossing. Yeah, I love Nintendo in part because they shaped a lot of my childhood and my interest in video games and stuff. But they have made a lot of missteps in the last 5 years or so, for me specifically. Even their handling of like fan games can be kind of annoying to me, because they will outright shut down anything that gets too big, right? They want to protect their IP, quote, air quote, protect their IP under any cost. But yeah, this doesn't like it's such a small group that's being targeted, right? It's the tournament scene that's profiting on a modded version of the game that's being shut down. And it doesn't bother me that much. It seems like fine, just play by the rules. And I think I would be a little more inclined to side with the tournament folks if I didn't see the commenters like the outcry from those folks and how it just leans into that like issue that we've talked about before, right? With this specific mindset of some gamers that is so like, I don't want to say any specific words, but it feels very entitled, right? It feels very, me first, as it were.
Well,
And there's
it's also, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's also, there's this mentality among a lot of media consumers to be anti-corporation. And again, as a Disney fan, I see a lot of this.
Well, you always
as a
want to
Star Wars fan, I see a lot of this.
You always want to root for the little guy, right? Because
Right.
we're ingrained to feel like the big guy is the scummy, distant, corporate entity and everything. And again, I don't really think, the shutting it down, the cease and desist, the near lawsuit stuff, like that's a lot, but on the other, it's like, it doesn't give me that same level of like, this is treasonous against the fans. And like, come on guys,
Well, what gets me is I saw an argument on Twitter and fortunately did not get myself involved in it because we all know how those go. But somebody was basically encouraging the pirating of Nintendo games, and that, of course, sparked a debate. This incident included in the, support for pirating, and one of the things that came up in it, and we've discussed this on the show before, is the difference between emulating and pirating, and how I think all of us are kind of pro emulation, or at least not anti-emulation.
Well, yeah, because emulation is more about the preservation of games than it is the stealing of them.
Or the ability
the convenience
play,
of it.
Yeah, the ability to play a game you might not otherwise get to play, or play it on your mobile phone, or that like I emulate when I want to record gameplay for like DS or Game Boy Advance and stuff for my YouTube channel, because I don't have a way to record. Like when I did my Pokemon Conquest video, I did that all through emulation.
Otherwise, you need to buy like a $500,000 capture kit.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't really have a fervent problem with emulation, especially of older titles. Like I understand the outrage a little bit when it's like, hey, this game just came out and I got a free copy. That's like, come on, man. But I get it. And circumstances are circumstances. You don't know what's up.
But like Nintendo is pretty adamantly against emulation. Like every couple of years, we'll see them, come sweeping through, Emu Paradise and Cool ROMs and all these great places saying, take them all down. And people get all outraged about that.
I'm going to jump in and say that while I think that maybe it is somewhat of a crappy decision, but like it's Nintendo. Like if you have ever paid attention to what Nintendo has done in the past, like you knew this was going to happen. Like it might be crappy, it might be whatever, like they like maybe it's going to affect like somebody's income because they're we're planning on having a in-person Smash tournament, but this pandemic happened and they were hoping to use Slippy as an alternative, and Nintendo shut them down, and that's crappy. But I mean, again, like as somebody who, if you're a pro Melee player, right, you just have to realize that this is the way it's going to be. Nintendo is never going to change. So like if that's something that is really going to affect you negatively, well, I hate to say it, maybe go find another game. Like that's just, I don't know.
Like Smash Ultimate.
There you go. Yeah, 100%.
The thing that I've had to come to grips with in the last 5 years or so, as I've watched, a company that I used to like eat up all their products, and I've gotten to a point now where I'm a little more selective, right? And I don't find myself falling in love with everything that they pump out. despite what some people will tell you, corporations are not people. Corporations are collectives of people who age and retire and bring on new people, and corporations change, right? So the idea of feeling betrayed or angry at a company to me is so foreign, right? Because it's like I could sit around and say like, well, why is Nintendo making games now that I don't like as much? They were great, 20 years ago. Well, 20 years ago, they were an entirely different group of people, 20 years ago, they had a different legal division. 20 years ago, didn't they have the insane president dude who was like incredibly harsh and like hated everything? And
Yamauchi, who was
come on.
grandson of the founder of Nintendo.
I hate to tell
didn't
you
even
guys,
play
but 20
video
years
games.
ago wasn't that long ago. That was the year 2000. So
was that Iwata?
I'm pretty sure by the year 2000 it was Iwata, because 2001 was when the GameCube came out. So when did Iwata come about? I don't even know. It might have been somebody before that. Anyways, we're going on a weird tangent here. I'll look it up and I'll tell you.
In the 90s anyway. But I mean, Nintendo used to be, anti anything that could offend people or harm children too. Remember the sweat in Mortal Kombat.
Heck, we just got dark-skinned player choices in Animal Crossing like 2 years ago. So,
And we just got Doom Eternal on Switch.
Yeah. But two things. One is there are industry practices that really irk me, and this really isn't one of them. Like I hate the folks who come on and like won't let you capture footage of a game on Switch, right? Or take down gameplay footage of games that go up because it violates some copyright and you don't really own the right to stream your own gameplay or anything like that kind of stuff. And Nintendo's been guilty of some of that too. They have been aggressively pulling down audio for games. Not as bad as Square Enix. Try to find the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII on I know, Steve, that was the game we were talking about.
That was the one.
They are aggressive with that, and it's disappointing, because that's like music, in my opinion, like it's stuff that should be shared and should be, just all over the ether. Like that shouldn't be stuff that gets locked behind a paywall.
Or at least if you're going to lock it behind a paywall, give us the option to pay for it.
Yeah,
that's my big thing, and that's where I kind of have to side with some of these people who complain about Nintendo. You're going to take down all of our ROMs, but you're not going to give us the opportunity to legally pay to play these games or legally pay to purchase these soundtracks. Like even Square puts their soundtracks up on iTunes.
So I'd like to read something that Eugene is playing like Info Man right now, and I love it. He actually pulled an article from Polygon, and I've got a little quote here from that I just want to read off. First, Nintendo's statement to the public, which is Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Super Smash Bros. Series. We have partnered with numerous Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past. Unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament online for Super Smash Bros. Melee that requires use of illegally copied versions of the game in conjunction with a mod called Slippy during their online event. Nintendo therefore contacted the team or tournament organizers to ask them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in and protect its intellectual property and brands. Again, it's just yeah, you let them do the thing, Nintendo. Like I don't have a strong pro Nintendo stance in this thing, but I just find myself leaning a little more on the Nintendo side of things. And I think that's an unpopular opinion. Like, there's an article or two out there that's like, hey, you wanna have your tournament? Don't make it cost money. Have it be free, and then Nintendo wouldn't be shutting it down and stuff, which apparently is true. But a lot of the articles out there are like, how dare this corporation do this? The streamers are outraged. The streamers are hurt. I don't know. I don't really fall in that camp. I'm not so quick to jump on that bandwagon, I guess.
So I made the comparison earlier to Disney, being a Disney fan, and particularly a Disney Parks fan,
which has got to be hard. Yeah,
and there's a lot of similar stuff that goes on. And there's actually a particular anecdote that I can think of from a few years back. There was a website, and I won't throw them under the bus, but one of the things that this website specialized was basically remastering of old Epcot Center audio and releasing it as digital albums that could be burned and printed. And he did this for years
for free.
Yes, we'll get back to that asterisk in a
Because that's
moment.
kind of a big point in the story for me. But
Right, and that's where I'm going with this. Is he had originally released them for free to download, and he had like a multi-year plan to do this, and this went on for a while. And then somewhere around a few years ago, he started a Patreon, and one of the things that you got in the Patreon was like, I think, early access to the albums and special albums. And the thing was, not only was he including,
that's still fair from my point of view, because you're not selling the albums, you're selling, your access to your content. But
it's falling into the same category of he was making money off of it.
Yeah.
And the other part of it was he was also including like licensed music that Disney had used. Like, here's a song off of an album that fits this area, so we're gonna license this song to be played in this area. And he took it off of the internet or whatever, put it on an album, and said, here, pay me money to remaster this for you. And so like it's this touchy subject where like you can go on YouTube and find Disney theme park music everywhere, and Disney doesn't really do a thing about it, because if they're not selling it, then you're not taking anything from them. And if you're not making money off of it, then you're not really, hurting them. But one of the things that kind of irks me, and we kind of got into this before, is, the ROMs, the music, particularly the soundtracks and stuff like that, Nintendo coming in and pulling these things when they're not like, there was another Metroid 2 remake that got canceled a few years ago.
Right,
and everybody was like, oh, Nintendo, just shutting it down. And it was because Nintendo had a Metroid 2 remake that was literally like waiting in the wings to be released, and they didn't want to have this competition.
Yeah.
Like that I understand. But when somebody is providing something through their own blood, sweat, and tears that Nintendo is not providing, and is not planning on providing, and is not making money off of, this is where I get into the whole, hey, Nintendo, back off.
I even hate to say it, but I even kind of understand where they come from when they pull, like, the fan game thing. I'm in such a gray area on this, because on the one hand, it's like I want to see, independent game designers who maybe don't do this as a career, who just do it as a hobby, make their own Legend of Zeldas and their own Marios and stuff like that, But on the other hand, I understand the freak out that Nintendo has over like their brand's identity, right? Like I don't know how I would feel about people making like fan projects of things that I had created. A couple of months ago, and I've been using this as my example ever since, there was a cancel Sonic the Hedgehog hashtag going around on Twitter, because a fan like comic or a fan game or something had like a offensive depiction in it, and people thought that it was like actual Sonic, and it became this whole kind of like mix up between like the fan base and the regular I mean it goes to a lot of stuff, right? Like there was this documentary about the guy who originally drew the Pepe the Frog meme, right, which has become an icon.
There's a documentary about that.
Yeah. It's become an icon for a particular group of people that have a particular viewpoint, right? Is how we're going to phrase that. And his work has taken on this life of its own, and is now no longer really representative of it was just a dumb drawing he made. It wasn't supposed to be anything deep or important. But I understand the fear that if a heinous enough version of like a Mario fan game or a Zelda fan game or something gets out there, that it could forever taint the identity of the brand, and have it, all of a sudden you're seeing Zelda and it goes hand in hand with racism, because one of the guys who did a fan game had like a racist depiction in the game or something. So I understand.
And then that went viral, and then
exactly. And then maybe Nintendo doesn't do a good enough job of sweeping that under the rug. So then Nintendo's in hot water. Like I understand the fear, and I understand the vice grip that they have on their properties. Sometimes I think they take it too far, but I can't say that if I wasn't the president of the company that I wouldn't be doing the same stuff,
Yeah, well, like Weird Al Yankovic has had a similar problem where, he is known as the king of parody. And back in the 90s when Napster was the thing. A lot of these kind of independent parody artists started doing parodies of popular songs, and a lot of them were offensive and sexist and racist and all that.
Yeah.
And people would just label it Weird Al Yankovic because it was the internet and
It was a
there
parody,
were no rules.
and
And so he got a lot of flack from, why would you create this offensive song? And he'd be like, I didn't. That's not me. By the way, stop stealing my music, because that's why you're getting this misinformation.
Right.
Pardon me. Yeah, Lucas, I find it interesting that you brought up Sonic the Hedgehog, because Sonic Mania, famously was developed by people who were working on a Sonic fan game.
Yeah.
And Sega saw it and said, we want you to make an official Sonic game. And, a lot of people say, well, Nintendo, why doesn't Nintendo do this? And I agree. Like, I saw somebody make a mock-up of a fan game for Mario where it was hand-drawn animation like the original cartoons.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that. The difference between Nintendo and Mario and Zelda and stuff like that, and Sega with Sonic, let's be totally honest here. Sonic does not have the greatest reputation as far as game quality. And whereas Mario games tend to always get those 9s and 10s.
If Mario is Disney, right? If Mario is Mickey Mouse and Nintendo is Disney, Sonic is Adventure Time or SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like it's got a following, and we can disagree on the quality of the games, but one is definitely like, I mean, they say that like Mario is like the 30th most recognizable character in like the world or something, right? That like 8 out of 10 people in like the entire world can identify Mario from like an image and stuff. Like, yeah, it's a thing,
and so Sega can kind of afford to be, hey, we'll let these people make our game, because let's face it, when we make our game, it comes out mediocre and nobody buys it. Maybe if we let somebody else make this game, they'll make it well. Whereas Nintendo,
keep pushing me, and we'll go down that road again. How many more Breath of the Wild discussions do you want from me?
All right, well, let's look at review scores. Let's look at sales numbers. I mean, those are objective facts. Like, you can love whatever Sonic games you want, and I won't judge you for it. I like some terrible things myself.
Yeah.
But
like I said, Sonic is the SpongeBob to Mario's Mickey Mouse. Yeah, no, I agree.
Whereas like Nintendo, even their worst Mario games still score like 9 out of 10. And they don't want.
But have you ever played Mario on the DS? That did not deserve a 9 out of 10. I didn't like that one. The one with all the gold.
Which one?
Oh yeah, New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Wow.
Barf.
I hate that we knew that at the same time. But yeah, no, and we've been kind of saying the same things for a very long time now. So I don't know how much longer we have to.
Yeah,
I can interject a
yeah, I was
slightly
gonna say,
you
haven't said a word.
And it's very simple as to why I've stayed very quiet this conversation.
You don't have much of an opinion?
No, I have an opinion.
Okay.
Why are we still playing Smash Brothers Brawl when they've released, or Melee or whatever?
Melee.
I knew that you were going to say this.
Brawl, Wii and Wii U, and Ultimate.
Yeah.
Can we not? And see, this is what I
spoken like a true casual, Steve.
Well, exactly. Why?
Gosh, don't you even know how to wave dash?
Let's go back to Pokemon for a second. If you look at the Pokemon trading card game, you look at the Pokemon competitive scene. What do every year? They modify the rules to use the current cards and the current games. Why aren't these tournament people using the modern version of the game? If they would do that, they might save themselves a little bit of headache.
That is a valuable point. And while I see both sides of the argument, it is one that people do make too. Usually in much more insensitive terms. Usually it's like, come on, it's 20 years old, get on with it. That kind of stuff. Because it's the internet comment sections. But, that does bring up a good point too. Yeah. There is a certain... Sorry, I just love talking.
No, it's fine. And that's basically why I've been so quiet, because it's like, okay, Like I can see Pokken Tournament. You know, maybe you
Yeah.
switch from the Wii U to the Switch version.
Well, and
that's
there's
fine.
really no more versions of that besides,
Exactly.
yeah, no, like there is a little bit of a desperation thing there, right? With trying to take this game and refining it down to its purest essence, Final Destination, Fox versus Fox, no items, 2-minute, whatever, that, that kind of stuff. Like there's a desire to have it be, I think, more than it was ever intended to be, and I will, argue tooth and nails that I think Smash Bros makes for a wonderfully competitive game. But obviously, I don't talk about competitive, like tournament level competitive gameplay. I mean, like, I just like playing the serious version of Smash Bros online. I like going on and having it be Final Destination and no items and stuff. Because to me, that's like a true test of how well can you play the game without any,
But you're still playing the current version with all of its revisions.
Yeah, because I enjoy it more. It's got more characters, it's got more stages, but that's not how a tournament player thinks, right? A tournament player thinks like, it's like, this is the game and I have to be the best I can at it, even if it's like 20 years old and whatnot. But,
well, yeah, and I've never really fully understood the love for Melee. Like I understand the nostalgia of it, and I have a fondness for GameCube games because like I personally feel like as beautiful as games are with your Xbox refrigerators and your PS 50s, whatever you're playing nowadays, whatever the kids are playing nowadays, like I think video game graphics and sound peaked in that era, and it's only been like incremental improvement since then. But like Lucas was kind of hinting at this, and we and he brought it up in our chat. I am a very casual Smash player. I like the items I like, but the thing about Smash Brothers, and the thing that and the thing that Ultimate has done is Smash Brothers has always been a very casual party-based game with very meticulous and well-balanced gameplay that lends itself well to a competitive scene. So even though and Sakurai will be the first to say, I didn't make this game to be competitive, but I can see how the pieces fit together that make it a good competitive game, and that's why the games work so well that way. But the thing is, as you were saying, Steve, like these games have been improved. Like, yes, so there was tripping in Brawl, and that might have been, kind of a pun unintended, a misstep. And, maybe Wii U might have done something that the fans didn't like. But the point is, like, the most quote unquote perfect version of the game is going to be the one that they've spent the most time improving, which is Ultimate, the version that is out now.
The version that can be updated.
And I agree with you. And I know we have to get going here, but I agree with you. But I think in the interest of representing the people that are complaining, right? I should also say that, it's not, I don't think it's nostalgia that drives these people to play Melee. I think it's genuinely that
Ludditism.
The GameCube controller is like the perfect controller for playing that game.
Oh, right. I will second that.
The physics of Melee, even though I don't notice it because I'm not a tournament level Melee player or anything, but the physics of Melee are supposedly just perfect for that type of game. Like there are so many things. It threaded the needle perfectly for these people that I understand why they might play Melee over a game like Smash Ultimate, even though for you and I don't think there's a noticeable difference at all. I didn't notice the difference in Brawl, and people say Brawl is incredibly floaty and incredibly, but
I noticed that the
Brawl.
online didn't work for me, and that's why I didn't like it.
Wow.
That was the thing, yes. But no, there is a reason that these people play Melee, and I don't think it's just blind nostalgia, and I don't think it's a cult following that they hear it's the best. I think they genuinely love this game, and they should be able to play it. But we're living in unusual times right now. And as much as it would have been great for Nintendo to say, go ahead and mod your game so you can play it. I think that's just one more thing that we have to accept. Maybe this year we didn't have the tournament, because it had to be a paid event, right? They weren't willing to buckle on that. So, they didn't buckle, Nintendo didn't buckle. It was two people butting heads, right? It's COVID times, this is just how it is. I haven't been able to go out and do a board game night in like 9 months. You didn't get to do your Smash Bros tournament. That's just kind of how it is.
Well, I guess that's about time to close off this discussion, which was a good one. So if you guys want to continue it, head over to our Discord and pop us a line. We'd be happy to continue it on. But we do have a few more things to cover, namely what we've been playing. I know Justin might have an almost unboxing of sorts with some new goodies that he just purchased. So yeah, why don't you take it away, Justin? What you got for us? What you been playing? Rapid fire though. We've only got like a couple of minutes each here.
All right. Well, I'm not giving a full review of this, in part because I don't actually have the brand name in front of me. Nope, it's not printed on it, as many of these Chinese things are. Pardon me, but I did get offered a chance to review a grip / USB controller for the Switch. I've gotten about an hour's worth of time with it, so I'm not giving a full review, but stay tuned because I'm liking it so far. It's very comfortable, and the one thing that the Hori one doesn't have. This has rumble, and it has 6-axis gyro.
I've been wanting something like that for my bedtime playing sessions when I actually want to hold the Switch. It's like when
I had
I'm
a bedtime playing
like
session with your mom last night.
When I'm holding it like this, and I know you can't see because it's video or on the podcast, people, but like when I'm holding it like all the way up towards like the ceiling type of thing.
I'm telling you, get that neck thing. And
I have
just
one.
Hold the Joy-Con in your
I
hand.
actually have one, and that's been great. But sometimes you just want to play a game like Smash is a game I want to play on the system for some reason. I don't know why, but I think like a unit like that would be cool.
Well, I will share a link for this with at least you guys if you want to dive in and give it a shot. I would recommend it from my experience with it so far. I will give a full review for next week's episode. As far as what I've been playing, it hasn't been much, but damn you, Steve, you got me playing Skyrim again.
Oh, hell yeah.
Steve got us all playing games this week. Okay.
Which is ironic because I've barely played any games this week.
Which I forgot how, I know I've said a few times I've had a hard time getting into The Witcher 3, and a lot of that is because of how story-based it is, and you kind of have to, schedule around the game. I forgot how easy it is to just jump into Skyrim and do stuff.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
I booted it up and immediately saw, hey, there's a cave over there that I've never explored. I warped over to the nearest place. We explored the cave. Took me about a half hour and then went to sleep. Skyrim for the Switch is perfect. So
do I have to get that stupid game because I've never played it to completion?
Yeah.
If
you're gonna play it, the Switch version is the way to go.
And you know what? Chances are it's going to go on sale for half price at Christmas time.
It was half price a couple of weeks ago digital.
Yeah.
Dude, I will buy it for you if you're curious about it because it's a good time.
I stand by that game. It is the best open world game I've ever played.
I mean, it's not like I
game,
can't afford the $20 or whatever. I always see it for
It's more of a time thing, right? You don't know if you want to dive in.
Exactly what it is.
And that's what's great about Skyrim is you can play it at whatever pace you want.
Yeah, you would need to be in the right mindset, right? You would need to be in a place where you don't really have any other games coming up that you want to play. And, maybe Elijah's calmed down a little bit as he's getting a little bit older, so he's not waking you up every night. So you've got some time after work where you want to get together and just kind of sit around and explore a new area and stuff. It's a good game for just kind of getting lost in it. It's like reading a book, a really good book. So
yeah. So I guess I will go next real quick because, why not? I haven't had a lot of time to play games again this week because we're still remodeling. But I did decide to do the next story mission, the final story mission in Chapter 2 of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Stumbled over the title there for a minute. And that game is going to take me a long time to beat, and this is the problem that I have with open world games. So I complete
Wait. This is not an open world game.
No, it's not, but you're going to see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
So
God.
I
Are you
complete
going to spend another 500 hours?
Yeah, this one's going to take 100 max. So I beat a story mission, right? And then it goes back to the map. This entire game is based off the map. So, and it's like bing, 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 and 7 more missions open up. And I don't feel like I can proceed until I've completed all those missions. So then I go over here and I do this mission, then I do this mission, then I do this mission. So this game is going to take me a while because it's not like the original Hyrule Warriors where I can just put all the other missions aside and do them later. No, they're right in front of me. They're flashing. I can do them. Oh, cool. I've done all the missions except one. What do I need to do this mission? Oh, I need these items. Okay. Well, I'll throw these items on the sensor. Okay, they're this mission, this mission. Okay. Which one is going to net me these items faster? So then I go and do that. And then like, okay, this mission's done. That is how I'm playing this game. I'm never going to get through this game. I am to the end. I'm to the beginning of chapter 3. And I played one level and it took me 3.5 hours to finish everything up. That being said, as much as that sounds negative, I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. Absolutely loving it. I did not realize how much fun of a character Impa was to play. Yeah, just really, really solid game. That's all I've been playing. Next.
Yo, this is a story all about how I've also been playing Hyrule Warriors, but I don't have the sequel, so I've been playing the crappier one on the old system.
The crappier one. Shame on you.
I actually like based on everything
I've
heard.
National treasure.
I think it might be the better one, but I haven't played the sequel, so I'm not going to judge yet.
No, the original one is a national treasure.
So Steve was talking blah 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 blah, Hyrule Warriors, all these maps, all this stuff, blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh my god! And then I was like, I'm so bored, I have nothing to do. And I was like, hey Steve, remember all the Skulltulas in Hyrule Warriors? I never got those, and they give you all these fun missions to do and stuff. So now I'm playing Hyrule Warriors. Like I said, I'm playing
I love the agony in your voice right there.
Yeah, I'm playing the original because I don't own Age of Calamity. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it as well. Like, obviously, I've put a ton of time into this game, so I already know what this game is. What surprised me was how much less time I put into the Switch version than I mentally reconstituted. I thought that the Switch version was like my definitive edition. I basically like almost 100%ed the original one on Wii U. But this one, I've got a lot of content that I'm missing. So yeah, my goal is getting all the Skulltulas because those unlock a series of kind of cool final missions that you can do where it teams up on like the characters and stuff.
Right.
So I've
got really good stories to those missions.
Yeah,
too,
there was
which I know you're big on.
Yeah, there was this one where Medley and Rudo have to like team up as like descendant and heir and take down like Phantom Ganon in the Earth and Wind Temple from Wind Waker. And it's just this cool like she's talking to her like she knows that she's her like ancestor and stuff, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
All of my salt for modern Zelda came out when I was playing this game. I was running around as Medley, and I was like, I love these Rito designs. Why did they change them? They used to look so good. But you know, it's neither here nor there. That's just a thing that I have to live with for the rest of my life. Like I mentioned. Yeah,
I just want to interject.
This does not count toward my timer.
My biggest problem with Hyrule Warriors is, as complain all you want about the voice acting, or at least the English voice acting in Breath of the Wild.
Yes, thank you. I will.
But I cannot stand that while 100 enemies are on screen and I have to juggle like this map and these enemies and what's going on here, what's going on there, this meter, that meter, I also have to read the dialogue.
It's completely optional.
I watch subbed anime, so I don't have that problem because ever since I was 15 years old, I've been doing that. So subtitles.
Yeah, but you don't have to interact with an anime.
Dude, I have no problem reading all the text and playing the game. Like it's just it's easy for me. But in the interest of time, like I said, I also was playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I just got my shiny Pheromosa, so I'm really hyped for that. That makes me feel so good because I've been working on that for like a month. I caught 231 before I got my shiny, so that felt good.
With 1 in 100 odds.
With 1 in 100 odds.
That's
I also got a shiny
2.3.
Piloswine the other night when I was hunting randomly. And I've been playing Pokemon Go, and I haven't really gotten anything cool there. But Fennekin's in the game now, so that makes me happy. And really, that's, I think, it. Let me just hit the home button on my... Oh, I've been playing Mario 35 and Tetris 99 because I have been bored. So bored.
I also played Tetris 99.
I'm basically...
That because of me, too.
I'm basically just a puppet playing whatever Steve tells me to play, so that's a thing.
Yeah. I'm living vicariously through my Lucas right now because I barely have time to think.
Yeah. And that's really about it. I've also been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about like crazy stuff in Marvel. So I re-downloaded Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but I haven't actually booted it up. So that's the thing. Eugene, what have you been up to?
Resetting this timer because it's got about 10 seconds before it goes off. Good timing there. Me, what have I been playing? Not really a whole lot. Pokemon Go, guys, that is just there is a $12 ticket that I am gonna buy without
because it's got all the Kantos and you can get shinies and shiny Celebies this weekend, 3 days.
It is bad, guys.
We have 3 days
it's
to
bad.
do that?
No, it starts in like 3 days.
In 3 days. Okay. I thought we only had 3 days to do it. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
I thought it was February when you said we were talking internally in a Discord, but then when I looked it up, I was like, oh no, that's coming up soon. So like, anyways, that's what my life is all about. For some reason, I was telling Lucas about this in a Discord that we had sometime when we probably should have been doing work things. Pokemon for me, it's really become a game of not catching them all necessarily, but catching them all that are shiny. And it's bad. Yeah. It's a bad addiction to have. Like I am...
Try breeding for them and then we'll talk.
I'll admit, I have secret fantasies of lining every shiny Pokemon I've caught up and seeing how far I am from a living dex every now and then. Like I get it, you know. I enjoy the shiny hunt.
I have 4 boxes worth.
Yeah, I don't know how many I have, but I tend not to keep duplicates either, right? So like I'll keep one of like each, but no, I've amassed quite the shiny collection in my time. So, you know.
Yeah, Pokemon has been it for me. We were talking Smash earlier, but not Smash Ultimate, but I have been playing Smash Ultimate a lot, especially Justin, since you introduced me into that like gooseneck thing or whatever that I've been using. But I think I said earlier, I prefer using, playing it like just with the
There are
system.
certain games that setup just is not conducive for anything fast-paced.
Yeah. I will say though that playing with it, like sitting in front of me with like my little gooseneck thing and a Pro controller works okay, but I don't know. It's just not the same. But real quick, the last thing that I have been playing, and we had been playing music for it on the show earlier, is this game called Gimmick on the NES. I won't talk too much about it, but I don't know why I picked it up, but I was listening to the soundtrack on a whim and the music was good, so then I was like, heck, the game it's got to be something, and it's something, but I don't really have too much to say for it. I might have more to say next week, but literally just like an hour's worth playing it, and that's it. So I think we hit everybody. Steve, did you go? Okay, yeah, we did it. I didn't want to miss anybody here. So let's move into the question block. What do you guys say? We have one question this week. It is from our friend Colt Cube, as he wants to go by this week in Discord. Does anybody want to read said question that has been posted into chat? Otherwise, I can read it.
I will do a dramatic reading.
Oh, fair. Go ahead.
All right, this is the holiday season. What games are people hoping to get for whatever gift-giving holiday you celebrate?
So I am not getting any games for Christmas. I never do. I did, however, purchase for myself on the day of my birth that which is the eternal doom.
All those years ago, just waiting for this Christmas.
This waiting for this birthday, because my birthday is in December. I did get Doom Eternal. I have not booted it up yet, but there it sits. All 6 Doom games on my Switch.
That's a game where I think I might play on slightly more powerful console, but I do want to play that one.
You should. The only reason I got it on Switch is because Switch is the only console I play. If you have the ability and or desire to play it on a more powerful console, do. It's also far cheaper on the other consoles.
Yeah, because I've seen it pop up. Actually, it might even be on Game Pass for Xbox, but I've seen it pop up on deals like real
If it's
cheap.
not on Game Pass, it was $30 or $20 recently. So
I'm a little boy, and I'm an only child.
You asked for one.
Stop, Steve. So yeah, I asked for. I'm talking with my parents, and I'm like, look, I don't need a game this year, but I've got like 2 that, and I know they watch this, so hi, Mom and Dad. But I've got 2 that I've been kind of.
Hi, Mom and Dad. I love you guys.
That you could, if you feel like it, you could throw it into the Christmas pile, because we get each other a bunch of presents. We really do it up on Christmas. Although it's going to be harder this year with COVID. We've harder to shop, so we're probably going to be a little bit smaller than usual. But that said, I have thrown out the idea of both Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, because that is a game I would very much like to try, but I can't really see myself buying anytime soon, especially since Persona Warriors got revealed for an English release like 3 days ago, and it's coming out in February, so I'm hyped for that. And then also this one that Steve actually pointed out to me called Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is kind of...
He is my pawn right now.
Yes, I very much am. Which is a kind of like a Breath of the Wild-ish mixed with like some Kid Icarus style like mythology stuff. So like kind of want to see what that's about too. And that just came out on Switch last week. So that's another one.
That's you got a lot of stuff ready to start unwrapping on Christmas.
I'm a little boy and we do Christmas. So yeah, I like Christmas. Christmas is fun.
Awesome. I don't necessarily do the whole game thing for Christmas because I'm a spoiled boy and I usually just get what I want when I want it. But me. I will say...
I try to stop shopping in like October so I have things to...
You poor sorry sap.
I will say, though, that if I did have anything on my wish list, it would be a Oculus Quest 2. I definitely don't need it now at all, but like, man, would it be cool to have one of those things. They look awesome.
I actually, maybe this isn't the right forum for this, but I actually want to ask, like, what makes the 2 worth getting? Because I have my 1 and still play it every now and then and very much enjoy it. But there just doesn't seem to be enough out there for me to want to get a sequel, you know?
For you, probably not much, but it has like a higher resolution screen, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So it's fancy, but...
Yeah,
okay.
But for me, somebody who doesn't have an original Quest and it still has like, you know, I'm tethered, like it looks, that looks good for me.
It's what I like to call Steve Tech, right? It's like the next latest and greatest. So a Steve type person has to go out and get it and sell his old one, but a Lucas person is going to hang on to his broken Switch until the day he dies.
Totally. Like you and Justin who already have the Quest. Yeah, you don't need the 2 basically. But if you're looking to get the 2, I'll buy the old one off
every
of you for
couple
cheap.
of months anyway. So.
I can't play mine right now. I have a dog, and she's not smart enough to stay out from under my feet.
I know my parents are watching this. I left mine at their place to go try it, and they haven't tried it yet. And I would like to bring it back soon. So.
Hi, Mom and Dad. We love you.
Man, this is just like turned into a message to mom podcast.
I want a pony, and I want a sandcastle.
Who hasn't gone yet? Justin, go.
So my wife has been bugging me because her mother pretty much gets everybody what they ask for Christmas. And I've never had anybody who does that for me. My parents always get me things that I don't want. And
so sad.
Previous in-laws used to get me things that they thought I would like, but were usually useless, like just something with Star Wars on it, but it's, a coloring book or some stupid shit like that. But
It's so sad.
so the good thing about
We'll talk
you
after
know,
the show.
the good thing about my mother-in-law is that she does say, you know, what do you want? And I'll get it for you. And there's like a $150 limit. Problem is, I don't know what I want. Like, I would kind of like to get Age of Calamity. So maybe I'll put like a digital copy of that or some eShop credit or whatever on my wish list, or, you know, Pokemon or something like that. But I think what I'm leaning towards is maybe an arcade stick for my Switch, because I've always wanted to have one of those. And, you know, I do have Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and stuff like that on the Switch, so it would be kind of cool to be able to, you know, use one of those.
Actually, yeah.
Or
that'd be cool.
Hori makes one for like 40 or
I think
50
8-Bit Dough
bucks.
does
That's supposed
too,
to be really
actually.
good.
But
Yep.
anyway,
Who does?
8-Bit Dough I
8-Bit
think does
Dough.
too.
Oh yeah, theirs are
If
like
you guys
90
want to
bucks,
sponsor
but-
our show,
Yeah,
reach
I was
out.
just gonna
Tips
say,
at
you remember
Infendo.com.
those guys that by all accounts should be a
We-
sponsor, but
We
aren't.
love your
Well, and by all
controllers.
accounts, should be like a licensed Nintendo product maker.
That's
'cause,
For
you know, they make
real,
good stuff.
actually, at this point, they do make good stuff.
That was
no
another
NFC,
company that
unfortunately.
Nintendo shut down, actually. I have the old controllers that they had to change the design of because they were mirror copies of Nintendo stuff, and Nintendo filed a cease and desist, going back to our earlier discussion. So, yeah.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, they had to
Anywho.
change like all the pads and stuff.
The other thing that's kind of on my maybe list is actually like the only mini multi-game console that I don't have, the Neo Geo. And I don't know how much use I would get out of a Neo Geo Mini, honestly, but it kind of feels like it's a hole in my collection, and I would just like to have like a row of these mini consoles.
I feel for you, buddy. I
that I
of
can
all
s-
people on this show know what you're going through right now. I understand.
Right, like it just seems like I should have it because I've got the PlayStation, I've got the Genesis, I've got
You
the
gotta
NES,
have
the
the
Super
set.
NES.
You
Gotta
make
catch 'em
fun
all.
of me, but you gotta have the set.
Well, and you know, Neo Geo has always been that.
That's
Ooh,
happening
that
here,
thing's kind of
Eugene.
cool. You know, I grew up in the '90s, so you know, the Neo Geo was always the system that like everybody saw and thought was awesome, but nobody could afford because they were like $500.
I knew none of this. I knew it was a system, but I didn't know it was like that.
Well, it was basically
We're
an
all learning
at-home
stuff tonight.
arcade system. Like games actually came on arcade ROMs.
I always learn stuff with you old farts. Like you guys teach me so many things about old Nintendo stuff that I had no idea about. Like
It is as far as I know the only 24-bit system.
Back in my day, the bananas only had 2 frames of animation.
I don't know what that means.
That's a
I
Donkey
do,
Kong
and that
Country
means it's
reference,
time to
Lucas.
go.
Justin
Well,
is cracking
everybody, it was real. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for going out and wearing a mask when you do. We're gonna get out of here. So
Yes,
thank
pardon
you.
my Pika, but wear a fucking mask.
I've got
So-
mine right here.
So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Eugene, and thank
But
you,
not
Steve. No, I went in the order that it was,
I'm
and it
wearing
just
my
so happened to
mask.
be me next. We're gonna see you guys next week. We know you guys are gonna be back. We love you. Goodbye.
Peace.
And
See you real
may
soon.
all your Christmases be white. Bye bye.
And scene. It's cool. That was fun.
Okay, now we can
Stopping
now we can go
recording.
back to-
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like figure out how to export this because I haven't used Audacity in a long time.
If
now we
you
can all
just
go
File
back to each other
export.
like we do
It-
when we're not on the show.
If you just downloaded Audacity anew, the new versions of Audacity, you don't need the plugin to export as MP3, so that's nice.
Oh, good.
So that was actually 573 because I already have 573.
Oh, you guys fucked everything up. The stream went out as 572. The YouTube went out as 572. The Twitch went out at 572.
But we didn't have a live stream for 572, so it really isn't a disaster. We'll just do
That's
574 next time.
Okay, all right,
572.
okay. Andy?
Eugene, I just got a warning. Recorded audio was lost at the labeled
that's
location.
normal.
It does that.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah, it's, you can.
Don't
That's a
even
new
worry
Audacity
about
thing.
it. Don't even worry about it. It's all good.
Andy!
Okay.
Hello.
We're gonna kill
Mike,
the
we're
Twitch.
good.
So bye Twitch, love you, and YouTube, we love you just the same.